Flosstube, it's Sandy. Here I am. A couple days late from 1 week exactly, but I'm here pretty quickly. This is my channel, Stitching with Sandy. It's a channel all about cross stitch, and once in a while I'll throw in some other crafts, but today's strictly cross stitch. So welcome or welcome back. It's a great day. It is Flosstube 65, and this is July 11th, 2025, and it's Friday. Today is 7-Eleven day, so my kids have been telling us about that all day. I think they want to go to 7-Eleven for their free Slurpee. Do you remember doing that as a kid? I do. But anyhow, since I was with you last time, I really haven't done too much. I did do a trip to a really fun museum in Beverly Hills. So I live in California, for those of you who are new, and I love art. I'm a elementary school teacher. I teach kindergarten, but my second major is in art. And so whenever I get an opportunity to go to a different museum, I go. And sometimes I go many times in a row. But my husband found this place. It's called Mr. Brainwash Museum. And Mr. Brainwash himself, he's the artist, and basically his premise is he used to do street art, and now he has a museum. He takes original paintings, like famous paintings, think of Van Gogh or Picasso, and he takes those and he shows them a new, different way. He adds things to them to make them more interesting. So it's pretty comical, but what's fun about his museum is not only does he do that, but he creates interactive centers, like where you can go inside the painting and be a part of it. So it's a lot of fun. My family went. We took my mother-in-law. We're trying to get her out of the house so that she's not dwelling over my father-in-law. I know it's not easy, but we just don't want her to shrink into depression. We want to keep her out and about and having a good time in between all the hard times. So we took her, we took the kids, and we spent the day in Beverly Hills. And there was another installation down Beverly Boulevard, and it's an installation of 100 herd elephants. So what I'm going to do is at the end, in case you're not interested, I am going to put a couple little video clip of the pictures that we took while we were there. And you can decide for yourself if that's something you live nearby and you're interested in going to, or you live far away and you just want to Google it and check it out. You'll be able to see a little snippet of some of the things that we got to do while we were there and the things that we saw. So I hope you'll check it out, but if not, I understand. So let's get to the cross stitching. I do have some FFOs. I have 5 today, and let me get through it. So my first FFO is, last week I showed you ABC Phrases by Tralala, which is ABC Strawberries, and I found a frame in my closet back there. That closet's a mess. Never go in there. You'll never make it out. Inside that closet is a whole bunch of pieces that I saw as I'm out and about and said, that would make a great finishing piece. And now I have way too many in there that I hardly ever use. But I did find one in there for this piece, and I sanded it down, painted it, sanded it up again to scuff it up, covered it in brown wax, sanded it again, and now it looks like this. So what do you think? Isn't it beautiful? The blue matches so perfectly. And now I'm not a big blue person, but when I saw this design, I wanted to do it for my displays in June because it's strawberries. And so it's perfect for a summer stitch. So I picked this one up. I believe this is a piece from Hobby Lobby because it says table decor, but I got it for $2.49 on clearance, as you can see. And so it was this color, but I wanted it to match the piece a little bit more. So I painted it with some blue. It's called Mediterranean blue, which is super, super bright, which is why I took the brown wax afterwards and covered it in that and then sanded it off so it would be a little bit less bright. And I think it turned out wonderfully. And the best part is when you cut your mat board to fit inside, it literally pops right out. So underneath it was a sign that said Home Sweet Home. But it works out perfectly for this piece. All right, so there's my first one. And my next piece is, I started working on the Early Americans by Little House Needleworks, and the first one that I chose to start with was number 1, Betsy Ross. She could have been number 9, and I still would have picked her first. And she stitched up really fast. So on the pattern, they had her finished in a pillow, which I plan on doing them all as pillows. And they had like a vintage lace on it, and I have a bunch of vintage crocheted lace that I've collected over the years. So I'm going to put different ones on each one, but that way they'll be similar with the same backing fabric and the same fabric I stitch on, but the lacing will be different. So here is Betsy Ross. And I stitched her on 32 count Saltbush, and I love this fabric. I need to go get another piece. The pattern called for 32, and I wanted the whites to really pop. So the only change that I made is, well, I guess I made 2 changes. This is called for English Ivy, the green grass, and then this wreath here. And I changed it to steamed broccoli. And then the white, it was done in ecru, and the ecru and her skin did not go too well together. I thought it was hard to tell them apart, so I changed it and brightened it up with a bright white. And then here's my backing fabric, yay. And I have enough of it to do all of them, so they'll all match, but they'll have different lace trims. So I'm very happy with that one. I don't know which one I'll start next. I don't even know if I will start another one this summer. I might wait. But that was one of the ones I did for the Patriotic 13 for the 250th sale. And let me stop for a minute and share this with you. Nancy, the Disorderly Stitcher, and Nancy, the Laughing Face Stitcher, I believe is her name, they are doing a sale, and I shared in my last floss tube, and the sale is hashtag 13 for the 250th sale. And if you go, I think Nancy, she has a Facebook page, and I believe you can get it there. A friend of mine printed it for me, and to keep track, because she's doing it too. Hi, Michelle. And so I didn't have to go get it, but I believe that's where you can find the printout. It looks like this. It's an American flag, and then the idea is that each one of the stripes, you can write your pieces that you want to do for the year, and then keep track of it. And I've decided that instead of planning out, I'm one of those people who, if I put a bunch of things down on paper, unless I'm doing a challenge that is like really strict, I will get to the day to stitch that and say, oh, I don't want to do that one, and pick something different. So what I'm going to do is record them as I finish them. So as you can see, I have 7 finished. 7, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 done, which is wonderful, because when I go back to work, it's hard to fit in some things. So this way, the more I get done over summer, the less I have to try to complete during the school year, and then I can actually achieve having 13 smalls by next year. So that's where I'm at right now, and I will keep working along with it. I know that that's open to everybody, because every floss tuber I've been binge watching is talking about the sale, so they're all doing it too. So if you want to join, it's not too late. You have all the way until next year on the 4th of July. So that'll be fun. So that was that one. And then I started Christmas stitching, Christmas in July stitching. So I started out, I have a bag of Prairie Schooler mini card collection set F. And well, they're not all set F. Basically, they have a mini card collection, A, B, C, D, E, F. I don't know if there's more past F, but I have several of them. And each set is a little Prairie Schooler that's like this big. It was like a freebie back in the day, and now they've made them collections. And they're all different types of Prairie Schoolers. So what I did is I went through all the small ones that I had, and I pulled all the Christmas ones, and I threw them in a project bag. And so they stitch up pretty quick. They make great ornaments. So whenever I'm feeling like, oh, I just want to get a quick finish, I choose one of those. So the one I chose this time comes from Mini Card Collection letter F, and it was the house. And I love this so much. I chose to stitch it on a blue because I wanted it to look like the night sky. And I stitched Rudolph with his little red nose. I love the moon, how he's like peeking out. Oh, I think I have a little fuzzy on there. Sorry about that. And so what I did, I'm going to share with you what I do. So I wanted a different shape, and I didn't have any of Chantel's wonderful wood pieces. So I needed to make a shape myself. And so what I did was I said I want to have an arch at the top so I can put the little knot bow. And so how can I make that? So what I did is I measured the stitching piece, and it's 2.5 by 2.5, and this is on 14 counts. So these little card ones are perfect for 14 count, because then when you stitch it, they're this big. They're not that big at all. It was 2.5 by 2.5. So then I said, okay, I want my outside to be 3.5 by 3.5, and then I wanted a curved arch. So what I did is I got out some tag board. Let me show you. And I drew lines on my tag board, 3.5 by 3.5 all the way up, and it was a little square I had stored in my closet. I keep a lot of tag board for templates. And then what I did is I have some circle templates, and I made a circle, and I made where the curve touched the line, that's where I stopped. And then I wanted to come over just a little bit to make it have this little squared off side. So I just went over 1/2 inch on both sides, and then I cut it out. And then after I cut it out on my mat board, I traced it on my mat board. I made 2 mat boards. I covered them both in fabric, and then I stitched them together. So it's fairly light, so it'll be easy on the tree versus a wood one that might hang harder on the limbs. So this will be easy for a light tree, a small one. You know, the branches are as thick and strong, so this is good for one of those. And then I just added it on there, and I put a little bit of sparkle rickrack to bring out a little sparkle, and I just love it. So there's this is my first Christmas in July stitch, and it is finished. All right, so then I went on to, so if you have been around, you know that I have 5 children. If you haven't, surprise, I have 5 children. 2 of them are moved out, and 3 still live at home. But I did ornaments for my older 2 when they were little. I think I got up to their third Christmas, and I think the second one, maybe only the second Christmas, I'm not sure. But I know that I didn't do very many. And then when my younger 3 were born, I didn't even do any for them. I did buy them ornaments, but I didn't stitch them any. So I've decided over the last year to go back and stitch an ornament for each year as they've grown up. And so that way, all the way up till their 18th year. And that way, when they have a house and a family of their own, I can then pass along their ornaments that I hand stitched for them. And hopefully they'll cherish them. If they throw them away, hopefully they don't tell me. But for me, it brings me joy to do that. And I pick ornaments that mark something that they liked when they were little, or maybe a special moment. And so my twins, they are 15 now, and I hadn't done their baby first Christmas. So I kitted everything up last year and started, not every ornament for them, but at least enough to get started. Probably, I think I chose 2 ornaments per kid to work on, and I didn't quite make it by the end of last year. So I'm still working on it. So Marissa, who happens to be the older twin, here is her baby's first Christmas. And this is a Lizzie Kate chart. It's my first Christmas. It also has our first Christmas charted as well. So if you wanted to do it as a wedding one, you could do it as a wedding ornament. But so I have her name on there, and it charts everything out. That does have the name stitched over 1, so they stay nice and small. And then I just I did a backing like this so it matched the front. And then what I did is the same thing. I created a template. Now I'm gonna hold on to this template because this ornament, I plan to make another one for her twin, and then I'll make my son's, and of course his will probably be finished in green because he's a boy. And his fabric's a different color. The twins, I don't know if you can see it, but it has little pink dots on it. I think it's called 32 Count by Fabric Flair, and I think it's called Pink Splash. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. You see the little spots? So I'm doing both of the twins like this, and my son's is like a blue fabric, and I'll show you that whenever I finish his. But so I made a template also. So I just basically did like when you're a kid, and I folded a piece of paper in half, and I cut out a heart shape one side, and then I opened it up, and then I held it behind the ornament in the light of my window to make sure, and it was a little too big, so then I snipped a little off until I got the right size. And when I thought I had enough room, so that has a nice border all the way around, because I did want the fabric to show, that's when I called it done. And I took that paper and traced it on tag board, and then now I have it. I even marked on here what count fabric I used, and then the name of the pattern. And so that way, as I do the other kids, I'll have this, I don't have to start from scratch. So, and then sometimes I just save templates, whatever templates I make, I just put them into a binder that I have full of templates. And then when I'm trying to make ornaments, if I want something more than a circle or a square, I look into there and I find the templates that I've used before. And that way your tree has a variety of shaped ornaments. And by doing them on the mat board, they are pretty light. So this is Marissa's all finished. All right. So next up is my last one that I have FFO'd, and right now I get to show you 3 of them because it goes as a set. I've been working on Summer School by Brenda Gervais, Summer School Lessons. Yes, and I started it, it's been like over a year, maybe 2 years now. A friend of mine loaned me her pattern, and I started stitching them, and I have a special finish I want to place them in when they're all done, and so I'm doing them as pillows. So the first one was lesson number 1. Here it is. This is not the one I FFO'd, but this is the first one in the set that I started with. And I finished it with this beautiful rose fabric on the back and some ruching. And then I saved the fabric and the ribbons. I bought like 4 rolls of this. It's like a rayon ribbon. They're very easy to use. They're also see-through, so they make like a very soft ruching. And then lesson 2 was the lady. So I stitched her, and then I finished her little man that goes with her. So this is the one I FFO'd. And I will be showing you the next one, which is lesson 3, because that is something that I was working on in my spin a wheel. So I have 3 finished. There's 5 lessons in the set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's a strawberry, and then there's a little alphabet also that goes on a horn book. So I'm hoping to get all of those done. With being a teacher, I have a very special display that I am making these to put on, and then that way I'll have them on display in my home when they're all done. So I do love them. They're all, like I said, finished in the same fabric, and I just love them. And I have to tell you, without a doubt, Brenda Gervais is one of my top favorite designers. She just makes things so beautiful. I have several favorite designers, as I'm sure all of you do too, but she is one of my favorites. All right, so before I get into what I've been doing, I had a giveaway last time, and I'd like to share with you who the winners are. So the rules are this way. If you are called as a winner, what I would like you to do is contact me either by email or find me on Instagram and message me. Both of those will be linked down below. Well, not linked, but listed down below in the description box. And you'll need to send me your name and address so that I can mail these out. Since I'm on summer break, I can probably go the very next day, or the day if you get it pretty early to me. I can send them out right away. So let's talk about who the winners are. So I had 4 giveaways. The first one was Christmas Magic by Primrose Cottage. And this one, the keyword was magic, and the winner is Joanne McKendry 3796. And here is Joanne McKendry 3796. Congratulations, Joanne. If you'll send that information out to me, I'll get out your chart to you. And the next one was Rose Ever Blooming, and this is by Summerhouse Stitchworks. And this one is, the winner is Felicia Floss and Fizz. Floss and Fizz. Felicia, when your name popped up, Felicia, I know you well. You come to my Zooms. We've become good friends. Congratulations. When your name popped up, I was excited because I know who you are. So contact me, Felicia. Give me your address and I'll get out to you. All right, and the next one was Peppermint Pals by Brenda Gervais. I had recently stitched this and FFO'd it, and I love it. And the winner to this one is another person I happen to know, Kimberly Bowman 4188. Kimberly Bowman 4188. Kimberly, I've gotten to know through SoCal Stitchers. Congratulations, Kimberly. Email me your address so I can get this out to you. Congratulations. And my last one is a Winter's Day Visit, also by Brenda Gervais. And this one goes to, the keyword was winter, and the winner was Yankee Creek Stitcher. So congratulations. Make sure that you put your name too, because I need to know who I'm sending it to. So congratulations to those 4 winners. Somewhere within this video, I will have another giveaway to give out. I want to pass the stash. I have a ton that needs to go out, and I haven't been doing it, so now I have backup. Sorry, my nose is a little itchy. All right, so with that being said, I wanted to share something with you as well. I don't know, I finally, so I've been a model stitcher for several different places, but currently I'm stitching for, I think, maybe 5 different people, and one of them is just CrossStitch Magazine. And so I've been waiting a very long time for this one to come in the mail. They kept saying they mailed it out, because they send you a complimentary issue if you are published in it. And it didn't come all these months from April all the way till now. It barely showed up, but I'm excited to share with you what I model stitched in here. And I was kind of surprised when this one came out, because I remember when I model stitched back in the early 90s, this was a popular way of crafting, and I hadn't seen anyone do anything like that. I made a bunch of ornaments like these back then, and they're fun. And she said, oh, I'm going to turn them into sun catchers. And so it called for a lot of beading, lots of beading. One of them, I think, had 98 beads, I think. And that what I'm talking about, you will find on page 12 in this issue. And they are called Seaside Sun Catchers. So they're stitched on 14 count. It's like a plastic canvas. And so it's clear. So when you cut it out, it's clear. And then I stitched with several different flosses. And then all of the little bumpy things are beads. See that one? I think this is the one I did over 98 beads. Yep, quite a bit of beads in all of them. And so that was fun. So I'm excited that I can share that. So if you are interested in doing a finish like that, they look really great. They look great in the window. They look great if you do a tree all year long. I do. And so these would look great on the tree, because then when the little lights catch the beads, it makes it even more sparkly. So that was from this issue. And then Speedy Quick came the very next issue. So it didn't get lost this time. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the Halloween edition. In this one, I stitched 2 models for it. So let me show you what I did. There's several in here that I may stitch for myself as well. But this one, I want to tell you who the designer is. And I switched it because the page that the pattern is on, the picture is super tiny. So I went to a larger page. Let me just figure out who the designer is so I can tell you. The designer to this one is Christy Brown from the Elfin Forest. And let me show you which one that is. It's this one with the little witch. This one stitched up in one evening. It was so fast. So if you need a quick Halloween ornament, I recommend doing that one. It's very fast. She looks super cute when you do her, and I loved her. Now this next one was not fast at all. And this, but it had a little bit of a strange look to me. I understand what they're going for. If it was me, I would have added some things. So I'm going to tell you what I would have added. But this one is by Stephanie Radson of the Little Lion Stitchery. And this is the model that I stitched. And she is like the glowing witch. Her spells are glowing. And it was fun to stitch the flosses. The only thing that I felt awkward about was I know that that her spell book is glowing and this is supposed to be glow, but to me her eyes look ghostly, so it kind of freaked me out. So if I were stitching this for myself, I would add in some eyes. I really think it'd be easy to put a couple of backstitch lined eyes and maybe a couple of French knots in this in her pupils. And maybe I might even make the little line around the nose and the little line on the lips, so that way she didn't look so odd. So if you like this, but that kind of creeps you out, those are my suggestions of how to fix it. And one thing you could do also is look for a Mirabilia or a Nora Corbett and look at the faces, the way they backstitch them. That will help you be able to backstitch that and help it give it a face. So like I said, I know what the artist is going for, and I'm not judging her by any means, but if it were mine, that's what I would do. And then that way she would look not as creepy to me as she does on here. But it was a fun stitch. I really did enjoy stitching her. It's not a fast stitch at all. It took a little bit of time. All right. Did you like those? I've seen mixed emotions from people. Some people like this particular issue of Halloween, and some people do not. I want to say approximately 5 pieces in here that I love, and to me, if you find at least 1 or 2 that you like, then that makes it worth the issue, I think. When you think about how much we spend for patterns, and then you get so many in here, 45 plus patterns. And then also, I'd like you to think about this as a way of looking at finishes too. I know a lot of people struggle to do finishing. I happen to love doing finishing, and sometimes when I can't think of how to finish something, I will look through these and see if I'm inspired with a finish that I can recreate here at home. So that's an idea for you as well. All right, so those are my magazine issues. I know I bragged a little bit. I hope you don't mind. All right, next up is, let's see. I want to share with you some Flosstubers that I've been watching. Now I'm off on summer break, so some of the Flosstubes are on as I'm working here at my finishing table or sewing on my sewing machine because I'm trying to work on a quilt. And some of them I just said, oh, I haven't seen anybody new lately. So they might be new to me, but not new to you, but I thought I would shout them out. One of them is Be a Blessing. Be a Blessing Stitcher. She's great. I love her finishes. She stitches a lot of things like I do, and she does a lot of her own finishing. And I believe she's a quilter too. I believe so. She sews. So she's great. I've also been watching Tara Sullivan from Sully Stitches. I absolutely love watching her. My family's from North Carolina, so to listen to her accent is fun for me. It reminds me of talking to my aunts when they talk to me on the phone. She stitches a lot of Brenda Gervais, and I'm here for it, and I love it. She inspires me and makes me think, I don't have that one, I need to find it. So she's very much an enabler, but she has beautiful samplers as well. If you're a sampler stitcher, love watching her. And then I've been watching Jordan, the tattoo stitcher. My friend Michelle, hi Michelle, she suggested that I watch her, and I'm so glad I did because she says comical things that just crack me up. And so I've been going back. I watched her current one, and then I went back. And so every day since Michelle mentioned it, I watch at least one of her previous ones, and she just makes me laugh every single time. So I would go watch her. she also has enabled me because she stitches lots of different designs, lots and lots. But from her earlier videos, she stitched a lot of soda stitches, and I hadn't stitched that designer yet. And I have a black Maine Coon kitty, which I adore. Her name is Raven, and I've been wanting to stitch some black kitties. So I went on Soda Stitch on Etsy, and I found some that I can't decide if I want to do the ones that are Halloween themed or if I want to do the Christmas ones, because now I want to do all of them. So she kind of enabled me on that. But she also does Brenda Gervais, lots of different designs, samplers too. And so if that sounds like something you're interested in, please go check them out. So I'll say them one last time. I will link them below. Be a Blessing, Sully Stitches, and Tattoo Stitcher. And I will link them below so you can go check them out. All right. Should we do a giveaway? Let's do a giveaway. I'm gonna sprinkle them out. I have 3 this time. One's a big one. These patterns are either gently used. When I say gently used, that means I stitched it on a working copy, didn't use the original, but so it's gently used. It basically sat in my project bag until I finished the piece, and then I put it in the giveaway pile. Others are gifts from friends that have donated. I do a big Zoom on New Year's Eve, and so I had a lot of donations then. I gave away a lot of stuff, but I had a ton left over, so it'd been sitting for a while. So they donated. I want to send those out. And some of my friends from my own stitching group, they donate things to me all the time for giveaways. So I'm going to keep going as long as I can. So the first one up, I'm going to do one now. I'm going to show you something I worked on, so I'll go back and forth. So the first one I want to share is a gently used one. It is called the Tree Lot by Hands On Design, and it is a Christmas pattern if you're stitching Christmas in July. I have not stitched any, but I bought them twice. I bought it at a Jingle Ball, and then I bought it when it came out again, thinking I didn't buy it. So this one actually hasn't even been used at all, brand new. And the keyword for this one is tree. And please remember, you must be 18 years of age because I have to ask you for your address. And please don't say giveaway, freebie, or winner, any of those kind of things. I don't want any bots trying to collect my patterns. I'd like them to go to Stitchers. So the keyword is tree. I hope that you can use it in a sentence for me, and I will pick a winner on my next Flosstube. All right, so what have I been working on? I have 2 more giveaways, so stick around. All right, so I picked this up. I kept thinking about it and thinking about it. And every year I'll see someone stitch it and I think, I have that, I want to do it. So this year I decided I'm pulling it out. Even if it takes a whole year to finish it, I'm getting it started. And I'm talking about Let's Talk Summer by Hands On Design. I love her pieces. I love this one and the 2 small pieces. I'd like to do them all. And so I wanted to do the big one first. So I don't have a giant start, but I'm working on the bottom. I start on the bottom right corner. So I started over here. So I've done Road Trip with the fireflies and the Woody. And I'm working on Splat. This one says Make a Splash. So I'm on, it looks like a lash, but because I didn't finish, but I'll get to it. And I love stitching on black. I love the way it pops when you see it. And so I'll keep working on her and we'll see. Hopefully I can at least finish her by the end of summer. But if not, she'll be up next summer. All right, so the next one, I know I told you this last time, but if you're new here, one of the things that I do is I put my whips from the previous year or years in a tiny decisions wheel. I broke them up at the beginning of the year. I brought over 24 whips and I broke them into each season. If they didn't have a season that they belonged to, then I looked at the wheels and whichever wheel didn't have that many, I added them in there. And the idea is that every morning when I go back to work, I stitch at least 1 hour in the morning. I get up early before my kids have to get up. And I just start my day with stitching and some peace and quiet, sometimes Flosstube and my coffee. And I stitch for an hour and then I'm ready to go to work in a positive mood, calm and peaceful. And that makes my day start out really nicely. And then on the weekends, I don't stitch the hourly stitch, but on the times that I'm off, sometimes I will stitch more than an hour, depending on how I'm feeling about the pattern. And so last week I had showed you where I was then, but I had been working on the Drawn Thread Sunnyside Sampler. And since I came to you last week on Wednesday, I still had 2 more days to stitch. So I'll show you where I'm at. So let me fold it down. When I started the beginning of last week, I had this much done, and I only had up to letter R. So I stitched from the Q on, and I added another house and this tree. And so I have 2 more houses to do. I still need to do the over one stitching that's here, 2 more houses, and then I'll be finished. Yep. And some more over one up here. So the way my wheels work is this particular wheel, since I had some finishes, I've already taken them off, so I take them off the wheel as they go, and I stitch from the first day of the season all the way to the last day of the season. So I spin every week. And so usually what happens is I'm able to stitch twice on some, unless there's less projects in there, then some of them will all get stitched 2 weeks total. So when you think of an hour a day for 5 days, that's 5 hours you're working on that piece. So you really get some good progress in, and all my whips from last year coming in are being worked on, where in the past few years, they weren't. I just picked them up for a challenge maybe, and then otherwise if I wasn't feeling it, I didn't work on them. So I feel really good. I'm making lots of progress. Some are finished, and so then next year I'll have all new whips, which will be nice because then I can do a whip parade. I didn't do one this year because there were too many of the same ones from the year before, and there wasn't any progress, so it was pointless to show you. All right, next giveaway. Are you ready? Next giveaway, this one was a donation, and this one is, it's all but 2 of them, okay? So there's 12 patterns all together. This is the big pattern, and it's the Chicken Club chickens, and the only ones that are missing are number 1 and number 3 out of 12. The person who donated them to me sent them like this, so that's all. I'm not a fan of chickens. I had to, surprisingly enough, I had to raise 2 Cochin Silkies in high school for agriculture class, which my friend kind of influenced me to take the class, and I wish I never took that class, but because every time we had to do judging, learn how to judge things, I kept scoring 100%. My teacher wanted me to join the FFA, which when you hang out with like the popular crowd, being FFA was not popular at my school. It was kind of embarrassing. And so my teacher said, you know, I need you to join FFA. I need you to judge. You're going to make, our team's going to win for our school. And I had serious school spirit. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess I will. But I didn't know that if you joined FFA, you had to raise an animal. So we raised 2 Cochin Silkies. I didn't even have a yard. We did not live on a farm. We lived in a very small townhouse with a backyard that's maybe like, I don't know, 6 feet by 9 feet. It's a very small yard, and most of the yard was cement. And so my mom said, well, I guess we'll have to do chickens because there's no room for you to do anything else. So she went and bought some Cochin Silky chickens, baby chicks from the feed store. And I didn't know anything about him, but I can tell you that the one ended up being a rooster, and he just kept attacking me every single time I went in to feed and water him. I hated those things. So ever since then, I am not a chicken lover. Do I like to eat chicken? Love it. Do I love eggs? Love them. Do I want to raise them? Nope. I'll go to the store and buy them. Do I think fresh eggs are better than store-bought? Probably, but I'm still not going to raise them. So I have all of these patterned. If you want to win this whole group of chickens, please say the word flock. and I hope that you will give these a great home. I know they're adorable. That's all I can think about when I think about chickens. So forgive me if you're a chicken fan. I apologize, but they're good for you, not for me. All right, next up. So this week, Monday through Friday, so today's Friday, I got my last day of stitching on it. I had spun on the wheel, and I got Summer School again by Brenda Gervais. And I'm on lesson 3. And here's my working copy. This is what it looks like. And so when I opened up my project bag, I saw that the gentleman was in there. I had finished it last time, but not FFO'd him. So that made me want to FFO him. And then I started on lesson 3. So I started from the beginning. So here is 1 hour, and I really only stitched an hour a day. We had a lot of things to do, errands and stuff, so I wasn't home much. But I got this much done for the week, so that's not bad. I'm stitching it on 28 count over 1, which is what Brenda recommends. And I love this pot. I just think it's so beautiful. The colors are so pretty. So I have that, and so as you can see, the next time I pick it up, I will have the house to work on, and then of course the letters and the little butterflies to do. Or are they dragonflies? Butterflies, I think they're butterflies. So I'll have those to do. So I'm making progress on this. I have a feeling that it'll come up again because I think that wheel's down to 5 projects left in it, and I'm on one. There's only like 3 more to come up, so we have more than 3 weeks of summer still, so I'll be able to come back to this, I'm sure. All right, are you ready for another giveaway? I like doing this sprayed out. All right, so this one was another donation that was given to me. It is an Erin Elizabeth design called Nautical Tier, and I figured since it's summertime, if this is one that you are interested in, I would like you to say the word ocean. Ocean. All right, so those are 3 giveaways for next time. And those of you who won this time around, make sure that you send me your email. I'm not your email. Send me your address, your name and address, and I'll get these prizes out to you. And then those of you who are joining this time, you have an opportunity to win one of these giveaways. And hopefully I will be able to come back to the middle of next week instead of the end of next week, and I'll have more to share. I did order, Helen D had suggested ArttoFrame, and she has mentioned it several times on her Flosstube. In fact, if you go to her Flosstube, Helen D, she has a Flosstube. You go in her playlist and her tutorials and stuff, and one of the tutorials shows you exactly how to order an ArttoFrame frame for your stitching, and she shows you how she does it, and she walks you through the whole thing. I had watched that. She made that video a year ago, and then I've been meaning to go to a framing shop that my friends have found here, and I just hadn't gotten around to it. And so one day I was just playing around on the app, and I thought, oh, I'm going to ask Helen. So I talked to her a little bit more, walked me through a couple of the little things carrots that you have to push down to change things. So I ordered 2 frames. So they have already shipped, and they're coming from Connecticut. So I got the email a day or 2 ago saying that they finally shipped. The original date for them to arrive is the 17th. So I don't know, I might get them before then. So if I get them before my next video, I will be sure to share them as finishes, and I am going to frame them. And then if I love it, I am going to order more, because let me just say, I ordered 2 frames, and I ordered them with no glass because these are holiday stitches, and I only have them out for a month, so I didn't need the glass. Plus, I didn't want to break on the way here. And plus, it's a couple dollars cheaper if you don't get glass. So I didn't get glass. I got them to fit. I did get the acid-free foam board, and that is what Helen uses to mount her pieces, so I will do the same. And you get to pick your backing too. You can either do wire or you can do one of those sawtooths. I chose the sawtooth for the back, and it comes all ready to go. So all I have to do is pin or lace my piece. I'll probably lace it and then pop it into the frame. So I'm kind of excited about it. So if it works out, I will be happy to share those with you. And shipping was one thing to know about that place is, for me, it was coming from Connecticut to California. The shipping for one frame was $10.95. But when I added the second frame just to see what the shipping would do, it only went up $4. So my total price for these two pieces that are going to be coming to me was like $48, which I thought was an extremely inexpensive way of framing your pieces. So if it works out, fingers crossed, I will show that to you when they get here, and maybe that'll be something that you can go and get too. All right, so the last thing is, at the end of this video, I'm going to show the Mr. Brainwash video if you want to see it. If not, I won't be offended if you leave early. I hope that you've been having a great week. I know that I have. Summer is wonderful. It's sweltering hot here, but thank God for air conditioning. Air conditioning and Flosstube has been keeping me going. So I hope you have a wonderful week. I'll see you next week. I'm hoping on Wednesday or Thursday next weekend is the Midsummer Stitch, and I'm planning on going. So if you're not going, why aren't you going? It's like, I think it's like $15, somewhere between $10 and $15. You can find more information through Lindy Stitches, and it's super fun. I like to go and join in on the tables and talk to stitchy friends. I love to do the speed dating, and I love sitting back and listening to designers talk about their process and their progress from start to finish, or start to present, and see what they've been up to. I enjoy that so much. I think you would too. It's so much worth the money to hang out, and if you don't feel like chatting with anyone, there's so much entertainment, you don't even need to talk to anyone. You could just sit back and listen along as you stitch. So I'm going next weekend, so if you are there or you see me, please say hi. I love making new friends, and I look forward to stitching with you and seeing what you're stitching and sharing what I'm working on too. So until then, have a wonderful weekend, have a great week, and take care of yourself. Bye.